coming up on the official Celtic FC Podcast. Viljami Sinisalo, McCowan, Nicolas Kuhn and Daizen Maeda are live in the Argyle Street JD store as they speak about their careers, playing for Celtic and their ambitions for the season ahead. Hello everybody, hello and welcome to JD on Argyle Street. How are we all doing? We're all looking forward to this tonight? Very good. Well, listen, we've got a brilliant night ahead of us. Very soon we're going to get the first team players out and we're going to get a wee chat with them. But as well as that, tonight, of course, we're going to have a live official Celtic FC podcast, which is going to be brilliant. We're also going to be doing some big prize giveaways as well. We'll talk a wee bit about that towards the end of the podcast. We're going to be asking some fan questions, and I've been round, get a couple of brilliant questions for some of you guys in the audience. And at the end of the night, there's going to be a chance for you all to get a chance to meet the players and maybe get some things signed, maybe a couple of photographs, which will be excellent. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please make some noise for the boys and welcome to the stage Viljami Sinisalo, Nicolas Kuhn, McCowan and Daizen Maeda. Hey, what a reception that is. That's tremendous, eh?
Not bad.
It's a good way to spend a Wednesday evening. I was thinking that earlier. I was wondering, for you guys, like, what's the standard evening? What's a standard night off for a football player? I'll come to yourself. If you're in the house chilling or whatever, what are you up to?
Probably pretty boring, to be honest. Watching telly, maybe a bit of gaming, bit of a gamer. So,
what do you play?
It's a game called Counter-Strike. I don't know if anyone would know that, but I've played that for a couple of years. Probably do that.
See, I thought it was going to give like the standard footballer answer and be like, FIFA, FC, whatever. Look, what about yourself? What are you up to?
Just now, probably unboxing Amazon boxes. Just it's probably similar as well. Like, just really try to rest after training and make sure you're kind of ready to go the next day. So
it's excellent. Nicolas, we're here tonight. I mean, look at this place, absolutely jam-packed, full of really excited Celtic supporters. Just, what are these supporters like? What are they like to play for? And how much are you enjoying, entertaining them and giving them stuff to cheer about?
Yeah, amazing. I think especially on last Wednesday we saw what's possible in the stadium. So, yeah, just unbelievable.
It's fantastic. We're going to talk about last Wednesday as well. I think there'll be a few people in this room tonight who are probably still on a high after that excellent Champions League result. Daizen, for you, of course, I'm assuming that you probably ran here the night. You've been on fire since the start of the season. What have you thought about the way that the boys have started this campaign?
まあ素晴らしいサポーターがいるんで、それがすごい後押しになってます。
Because we have amazing supporters and they are helping us to push to the limit.
Excellent. Hey, what an answer. And by the way, can we get a big round of applause as well for Sato? So, listen, what we're going to do then, we're going to get a chance to speak to each of you guys individually and get to know a wee bit sort of about you, and then we'll take the questions from the fans. So I'll come to yourself first, Viljami. I mean, you hope you don't mind me calling you Vil, by the way, for sure.
Yeah, that's fine. That's what I've always been called there.
You're new into the club. How are you settling in? How are you finding it, life at Celtic?
No, it's been really good. Obviously, when you come up north and you sign for this football club, you feel it straight away as you land at the airport. You probably don't realise it until you get here how massive it is and how privileged you are to play for the football club. So yeah, it's been really good. Can't wait to get going on the pitch and make my debut. But yeah, it's been really good, and hopefully long may it continue.
Absolutely, you're talking about that. The realisation of the size of this football club. For the rest of you guys, especially obviously Luke as well, we've grown up a Celtic supporter, it's something that you're just well aware of from a young age, the size of it. But I'm interested though, Vil, obviously you joined the club, you had a great loan spell at Exeter City where Gary Caldwell was the manager. Gary Caldwell, obviously former Celtic player. What was he saying to you, before you came up here? Was he giving you any words of advice or little hints and tips about Celtic?
No, he was probably the first one to tap me up for when the interest kind of started early on, probably in March time, and he was kind of telling me, yeah, you've got to do this. This is something that doesn't come about a lot of times in your career, and when you get this opportunity, you've got to take it. That was pretty much what everyone else said when I spoke to people when I heard of the interest, and there wasn't really a doubt in my mind, since I obviously knew about the interest that this was going to be the destination I was heading to. So, yeah, he's very complimentary about the club, and he said I'm going to sign for the best club in the world. So, yeah, very fond words.
Absolutely. You're saying there, obviously, you're looking forward to making your debut, getting a chance to play in front of this support. But just, the Monday to Friday, the day-to-day, up at, Lennoxtown training, you're working with Kasper Schmeichel, you're obviously working with Stevie Woods as well. What are they guys like to work with? Because these are guys who they've been in the game for so long, such great experience. You must be learning so much from them. Oh yeah, absolutely. Kasper, for instance, someone I've always looked up to, watched on the telly. He's been a bit of an idol of mine since I've watched football in the Premier League. The level of respect I have for him is, I can't really put it to words. Brilliant goalkeeper, still is to this day, and has had an unbelievable career. You can see it on the match day how big he is for the team, and he's someone I'm obviously looking forward to learning from however long he's here for, and it's been really good. Woodsy's been brilliant as well for me, and like I said, there's a plan, and I've always enjoyed training with both of them. When you first joined, I remember you saying, you despite the fact you're young, and at the early point of your career, that you see yourself as a leader. You're a leader in amongst the group. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I always feel like goalkeepers have got that kind of air about them. Maybe it's just the fact the size of you and whatever, but how natural is that to you? Is this that's always been the way that you've been all through the years? Yeah, it's got to be. You obviously see the whole game. You see what other people might not see, what's going on behind them and stuff like that. So you've got to be that, and you've got to be someone that people look and trust. First thing when you look at your goalkeeper, you want to be able to trust him, and that's what I kind of want to pride myself in. I want to be that goalkeeper that you can look at and think he's reliable, he's not going to let anyone down. So that's someone I pride myself in and try to be to the best of my ability. Talking about leaders, somebody who you have played with before and who, in his own right, is a leader in amongst the dressing room and teams, is the man sitting just beside you, because of course you two would have... You're looking about the place. It's not Jay, the cameraman. It's Luke McCowan. You obviously know each other from previously playing together. But for you, Vil, what's it like? Were you happy when this man put pen to paper and joined Celtic? It's funny because Luke's been in for a month now. I've not actually heard him speak yet, so I don't. No, only joking. No, it's been good. Obviously, it's funny how football works. 4 years ago, we was both at a very early stage of our careers and playing for Ayr United in the Championship. So it's funny how the world works, and now we end up at the same club 4 years later. Luke's a great player. He's been a great addition to the squad, and actually sits next to me in the change room. So does speak more than I probably gave him credit for just then. But great lad to have around the team. Oh, brilliant. Well, listen, thank you very much, Vil. Ladies and gentlemen, a big hand, please, for Viljami Sinisalo. Thank you very much. We'll hear a little bit more from Vil towards the end, but let's, of course, move to yourself, the quiet man in the middle here, Luke McCowan. Look, for me, sum it up, right? Because it feels like you are living the dream, to be honest. You're a Celtic supporter. You're sitting here now, a Celtic player. We'll talk about obviously making the debut, scoring the goal, but just what's it like to be part of this club after having supported it all your life?
Nah, it's obviously a dream come true. It's been my boyhood club, obviously my family's club as well. It's been unreal, and it was one of the ones I didn't believe it was going to be true until I signed the kind of pen to paper. And no, I'm just privileged that the manager and the board and all that put that trust in me, because it's probably a bit of a bizarre transfer, being 26, coming from Dundee. It's not one you hear of often, but it's just about showing that trust they put in you. You can kind of go and show you're good enough player to be here.
Talk about that moment that you signed for Celtic that night. Obviously, it was deadline day signing, dead exciting. I remember actually seeing you in the stadium that night, getting all the photographs done. You know, it was brilliant. What a thrill! But how did it come about? Was it that day that you found out, or was it a wee bit earlier on that week?
Nah, so there was interest as we went back for pre-season, but it was only like mutual interest, and then kind of didn't know what to say at that time, and I was just hoping that it could actually happen. But as I said, it's not something you think about. You just try and do as best as you can for the club you're at. And then yeah, it was the final day. I got took in. I got a phone call off Tony Docherty at like 7:30 in the morning, thinking, what have I done wrong here? And then I said, come in early. I came in early, and he's told me that Celtic wasn't there. So I was devastated. Obviously, I had that pure idea that right down to the last day it might happen. And then I went and trained. And then when I came back through for training, he put me straight in his office and just held out his hand and shook my hand and was like, you're going to be a Celtic player. I think I started greeting and everything. I was a mess.
I'm really greeting you, man. That's brilliant.
But then he was like, I found out before training, and I seen you diving into tackles in training. I wanted to pull you out and whatever. And but he was really good in kind of breaking that news to me. And before you know it, I was speaking to like Gordon Strachan and people like that who are obviously involved heavily in the club, and it was didn't go really smoothly, but my heart was going like mad, and managed to get it done.
It's amazing. What a feeling as well. Obviously, you came on in the derby, making your debut. I'm sure you've seen the videos. I'm sure everybody in here's seen the videos that have been doing the rounds on social media of supposedly your family watching it on the TV. I mean, you might turn around and say, I don't know who the people are. They were just folk watching. But it looked like your family, filming the TV screen, watching you coming on. I mean, tell me, how are they feeling about the whole thing as well? I know how thrilled you are, but what are they saying to it?
Oh, if you think, obviously, I'm a Celtic fan. Obviously, I'm just trying to do it. It's my job. I think I'm the calmest person out of my whole family, even though I'm the one playing for them. But they're obviously thrilled. I mean, but that was probably a lesson learned for me and my family, knowing how big a club that is. That was only my cousin posting that, and before you know it, it's doing the rounds everywhere on TikTok, Twitter, the lot. And I didn't really, to be honest, I didn't like it. I didn't like seeing my family out there, but it was a lesson learned that obviously the stature, the size of this club, and it was obviously a nice moment, so it wasn't too bad. But they've non-stop talking about it since, so it's been special.
You're getting pestered for tickets for every match now, I guess?
Really, to be honest, no. More the away Champions League games, that's the ones everybody wants to go to, but it's not too bad.
You came on, obviously, for your debut. I mean, and what a game to come into as well. I think we were already 3-0 up at that point?
I just went 3-0 up.
I know we were 3-0 up. I just wanted to say 3-0 against Rangers just in front of everybody, just to remind everybody in case anybody had forgot. But, I mean, as a supporter growing up, you've seen that, obviously, all through your life. Then you're coming on into that occasion. What were the nerves like? What were you like on the touchline as you're about to come onto the park? How were you feeling?
Calm, to be fair. I've also played against Celtic enough times to feel that kind of energy in the stadium. But I just kind of thought to myself, like, you deserve to be here. Worked hard throughout my career, and I think the gaffer and players like Carl and that, and Daizen, gave me a wee pat in the bum as I came on, was kind of nice and calm. So I think that was the kind of message, and obviously it did help. We were up by a good score, so I was able to kind of just relax in the game and kind of get on the ball as much as I can. But it was a special moment. How
are you finding the characters in the dressing room? What's the dressing room like? The first team dressing room at Celtic Park. Who are the characters? Who are the big voices?
Everybody really in their own way. It's obviously a dressing room full of different languages. So you've got boys that are kind of characters, just doing their own actions. But there's not really like a standout person. I think, as you said there, it's a team full of leaders, a team full of winners. So it's when you're training, your head's on it. You're not joking about. You're not kind of having a laugh. But within that, you enjoy it by working hard, by doing whatever. So it's been class on a changing room with all these guys and kind of all the experienced boys that are on here.
You're already off the mark. You've scored your first goal already for Celtic, scored against Hearts. What was that feeling like, putting the ball in the back end at Celtic Park with the hoops on and then running away over to the support?
Again, I mean, I feel as if I keep saying the same word, but it was special. Like, there was not really a word to describe it, and it wasn't the cleanest shot, I'll say. Phil probably says he would have saved it, I think, but it was a special moment for me and my family, and luckily I had family at the game, hoping that I would have got on and kind of made a wee impact, and I'm just glad I could have helped the team that day and kind of secure the 3 points and be happy after that.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you obviously being here tonight. You're off to a cracking start, and long may it continue. Ladies and gentlemen, Luke McCowan. Talking about players who are off to a good start, Nicolas Kuhn, what a season you are having so far. I mean, 5 goals, 6 assists. You're absolutely on fire. I've got to say, how are you feeling? Are you feeling good about how the performances are going just now?
Yeah, I'll make it a bit shorter than those 2, but it's a good start, and I'm happy to be here.
Do you feel like, because obviously when you first came in, I know there's been a lot said about the fact that when you came in, it took a wee while for you to settle in. I think there was a little bit of illness as well, which has been spoken about, and it took you time, obviously, to get over that and get in amongst it. But do you feel like now you're starting to settle into life in Scotland?
Yeah, I took out my wisdom teeth back in Vienna, and then I came with a little bit of weight loss, so I had to get it back and then get it back moving again. Of course, I wanted to click it a bit faster. I think I still played the part the last half year, but yeah, now I had a full preseason and just getting closer with the team and the stuff. So now I'm in a good place.
Yeah, I heard you saying that during pre-season, that at the start of the season, that you're starting to get to know the team and know the club even more, and it's helping you to settle in. As a winger, though, talking about like getting to know the team and your teammates and stuff like that, how important is somebody like James Forrest? Because obviously James is a club legend. He's now over 500 appearances for Celtic. He's one of the most decorated Celtic players of all time. How much can you learn, and do you learn from a player of his quality?
Yeah, I think you almost said everything. Unbelievable player and also a good person. Off the pitch, he's really nice, really helpful. And I think you could see at the end of the season, he was an important player for us. So, yeah, he's just a really good player and a nice guy.
So we make sure James Forrest gets his shout out in all these podcasts. We've got to do it. Talk to me about last week. Champions League. Absolutely battered Slovan Bratislava. The atmosphere in the stadium just felt incredible. As a player, what's that like on nights like that? That noise within those 4 walls?
Yeah, it was unbelievable. It was a long way to get into the Champions League, and then this atmosphere was amazing. A lot of friends were here, and some of them were crying. I said it in the press conference already. It was nice.
It's brilliant. It was an absolutely fantastic occasion. We'll obviously get the game this weekend. We're away up at St Johnstone, but then next week you're away to Borussia Dortmund. As a player, you see when you're a player, you're growing up. Are those the things that you're aiming to do? Playing in the Champions League, playing in places, like Borussia Dortmund Stadium. How exciting is that?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to. In the youth, I played a lot of times against Dortmund, so yeah, I can't wait. A lot of friends, family is coming, so I'm really looking forward, and I think it's going to be a special night.
I really hope so. But for you, obviously, like we say, you're off to a flying start this season. It's been tremendous so far. But on a personal level, how far do you feel like you can go this season?
Yeah, I just want to keep going. I'm feeling good, and if I stay fit, I think there's a lot more to come.
Brilliant. Ladies and gentlemen, Nicolas Kuhn. Right, Sato, the pressure's on here, mate. You've got to try and keep up with my fast accent. Daizen, you are the fastest man in the world. But let me ask you this about your pace, because it's frightening. The level of speed that you can reach is unbelievable. How much work do you put into that, or is it just something that you've just always naturally been rapid?
いや、まあ練習は全然特にやってないし、まあでもただ練習で100% の力でやるっていうのは常に心がけてやっているので、それが試合に出てるのかなと思います。
I don't do any specific training for the speed, but I give 100% in the training every single time, so that's why I can play in the way I play in the game.
It's soul destroying, isn't it? That's soul destroying. I'm sitting here thinking I'm wanting hints and tips on how to get faster at five-a-sides, but I've got no chance. Daizen, you've also been, like I say, brilliant since the start of the season. You've got 4 goals, scored in the Champions League as well, and of course, the Glasgow Derby, who can forget. You've always been a goal threat, but it just seems like the more time goes on, you seem to be firing more into the back of the net. What do you put that down to?
まああまりゴール、アシストっていうのはそこまで、はい、気にしてなくて、まあ、チームのために、はい、走るってやったり貢献するっていうのはすごい僕の中ではすごい心がけていることなんで、はい、そこが一番大事かなというふうに思います。
I'm not thinking too much about the numbers in terms of goals or assists. It's more important for me to work hard for the teams and for the games, and how much I can contribute to the teams to help them winning. So that's more important.
You're a very humble player, you know, for somebody who is scoring at every level for Celtic, scoring internationally as well. But I noticed, you know, since you arrived here in 2022, you've been here for over 2 years now, 2.5 years. You've had so much love from this support, and I think I speak on behalf of the support when I'm saying that as well. They absolutely adore you. How much has that helped you over the last 2.5 years?
まあすごい助けられてますけど、まあちょくちょく、はい、嫌なメッセージとかやっぱり来るんで、そういう人たちはやっぱり見返したいなというふうに思います。
Yeah, they're helping me a lot, and then sometimes on the other side, I get different messages. So I just like to prove myself that I can do well.
It's all right. You gave them other messages as well. Don't worry about it. You've got a young family as well, Daizen. You know, you're very much a family man. How settled are your family in Glasgow and in Scotland?
まあすごい馴染んでますし、まあはい、ダービーの試合の後とかも、はい、公園に行って遊んだ、公園と子供と遊んだり、はい、とにかく子供と遊ぶのが好きなので、まあ小学校にも行き始めたし、まあすごい子供たちも慣れてきて、はい、すごい今充実してるのかなっていうふうに思います。
They settle very well, and like even after the derby game, we went to the park and played with the kids. So I really like to play with the kids, and my daughter starts to go to primary school, and then they're happy with the school. So yeah, they are very happy spending their life here, and everyone's settled pretty much.
Excellent. Well, just before we sort of move on to the next part, I've got to ask you, what is your favourite thing to do in Glasgow?
まああんまり美味しいご飯もないですし、まあでもすごいどこに行っても声をかけてくれるので、そういった意味ではすごい全てが、はい、お気に入りの場所かなというふうに思います。行ったところ。はい、
There are not many nice restaurants out there, but
there's no restaurant owners in here, geez, oh.
But then everywhere I go, and people talk to me and then give me good words. So pretty much all the places I like, I mean, I love it.
Very diplomatic answer there from a very, very special player. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Daizen Maeda. Now, we mentioned obviously that we were going to field some questions from you as well, you guys, the supporters, and I've got to say, on behalf of all of us up here, thank you very much for coming along tonight. So let's go through some of these questions. I'm going to start off with a question for Vil. Vil, this is coming from Connor Lincoln. Connor, where are you? Give us a wee wave. There, you're there. So Connor wants to know, growing up, who was your favourite goalkeeper? Who was your goalkeeping hero?
Like I just previously said, it comes from the Schmeichel family. So Peter Schmeichel, Kasper being more recent, but Peter Schmeichel was probably the first one, and then they'd go down to Kasper. So yeah.
He's getting brownie points into for answering like that. Brilliant, very good. The Schmeichels, I mean, something just must have run in the family. Eh? Two absolutely tremendous goalkeepers.
I know, yeah, it doesn't happen often that. So special, both of them special, and yeah, never met his father. So hopefully one day.
I think he said he was going to go. I heard him on the TV saying he was going to be in Dortmund. He's going to be in the green wall. I think he's just totally invested in Celtic now, to be fair. So you might get a chance to meet him over there.
Yeah, looking forward to that, and yeah, sure the support will be unbelievable once we get there. So looking forward to that.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. Connor, thank you very much for that question, wee man. The next question is coming from Sophie Ward. Where is Sophie? Up the back. Hello, Sophie. And this is, of course, for Luke. Luke, Sophie was wanting to know, you were such a pivotal player at Dundee, the captain. You were talking about Tony Dawkin, really good manager. The boys up there are doing brilliantly, and you were a massive part of that. But Sophie was wondering, how difficult was it? I know you've said Celtic come calling, you've got to go, but how difficult was it for you to leave something like that, where you're having such a good time?
A lot harder than you probably think. Obviously, as I said previously, it's as soon as Celtic come calling, you're always going to say yes, but you have to take into consideration that I was captain there. You're playing every game, you're playing every 90 minutes, and then you're going to come here and you're probably not going to play as much. So yeah, and we were settled up in Dundee. We had family in Dundee as well, which was nice to have. But in the squad and the players, staff, everybody involved in Dundee, they were excellent for me. Been there 3 years, so it was a lot harder than just signing a pen to paper and saying see you later. It was tough, and it did. Obviously, the transition coming here was hard to kind of put into words, but leaving them is hard to put into words either. So it was difficult.
I think that's interesting as well, what you were saying earlier, the whole thing of like Tony Docherty almost recognising and realising that when something like Celtic comes up, that's an offer that you can't, not to turn into the Godfather here, but that's an offer you can't refuse. How rare is that in football, do you think? Like, a manager who can just turn around and say, there's nothing I can do here, go and enjoy yourself? Yeah,
I think because he obviously knows my kind of past and whatever. Obviously, my career's kind of slowly but surely going there. But nah, when I told him of the interest in the summer in Poland, his first words were, if they come calling, like, I'll shake your hand and you can leave as soon as you want, mate. Because he knew that, as you said, you're playing for the best club in the country and you're going to hopefully play Champions League minutes and whatever. So he knew a kind of occasion like that doesn't come around, like Vil said as well. It doesn't come around very often, and you've kind of got to grab it with both hands.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much, Sophie, for that question. The next question for yourself, Nicolas, it comes from Aidan Kyle. Where are you, Aidan? Yeah, you're there. We wave. Thank you very much, Aidan. Aidan's want to know, other than Celtic Park, so not Celtic Park, what's the favourite stadium that you've played in?
Oh, good question. I think probably Ajax. Ajax was really nice, yeah.
And the thing is, there's similarities there as well, because Ajax's stadium's quite close and tight to the pitch. Yeah. As a player, do you just feed off of that noise that's coming from the crowd?
Yeah, I like it. Also, when the fans are close to the pitch, it's really nice. I played also for Red Bull Leipzig, and there's like a wall, and it's like far away from the pitch, so it's not that nice.
Yeah, absolutely. I know what you mean. Well, thank you very much for that question as well. And the final question was for yourself, Daizen, and it comes from young Jackson McGinty. Jackson, front row. You're nice and eager tonight, man. You were the first here, and these guys were here earlier, but you were here even before them. You're even quicker than Daizen. Jackson wants to know, Daizen, what's your favourite goal that you've scored for Celtic? And he also wants to know, have you ever scored a bicycle kick?
いやまあ多分みんなレンジャーズの試合とか思うんですけど、僕はまあもう特になくて、もう全てがはい素晴らしいゴールだと思っているので、はい全てのゴールかなっていうふうに思います。
Well, I think everyone hoping that I would say Rangers goals, but I mean every goal for Celtic is like precious and it's memorable for me. So everything is special for me.
That's brilliant. What about the bicycle kick question though? Have you ever scored an overhead kick, a bicycle kick?
Never.
All right. Date it next week. Date it next week in Dortmund. You'll be fine. Well, listen, thank you very much for those questions. And ladies and gentlemen, can I just ask you please to put your hands together before we round up for one more time for Viljami Sinisalo, Luke McCowan, Nicolas Kuhn and Daizen Maeda.